Welcome to Built by Us, the podcast that celebrates the stories of entrepreneurs shaping our communities. I'm your host, Jamie Arroyo, CEO of Assets, and today we embark on a culinary journey with a remarkable individual who's blending heritage and innovation on the streets. Join us as we uncover the tale of Luis Quiroz, the visionary behind Chellas Arepa Kitchen, and discover the flavors that bind us together. So tell me a little bit about, your superhero origin story. So before you, got into entrepreneurship, where are you from? How did you get into this journey?
Yeah. I always grew up in restaurants. My parents, they met in a restaurant down in Lima, Peru. So I remember going there just, after school. And I remember eating their staff meals and just getting to know the staff and, doing my homework in the back. And then from there, I remember going in the front and ordering more food. So I always, love food. I always love the decorations and the type of people that there were there. So then, moving to the States, it was something that, was back in our kind of in our roots. So then getting jobs, that was like one of my first jobs, just to, work in a burger shop. And then from there, going to school, I always was, in the restaurant world and always had the ideas of like, one day I'm going to have my own restaurant. I want to make these things. I want to improve these. So even in my classes at Millersville, when I had, marketing or graphic design, everything would be always like thinking about the logo and the colors and the story. So yeah, one day, I was like, you know what? I'm going to put all my knowledge into this restaurant and just make it work. So, but the challenge was that, I never had enough money to open a restaurant, but then we had the opportunity to get the food truck where it's, located across the street from Costco. And, my wife came by and she's like, hey, that place is for sale. So, that night I just went there, called the guy. And then the next morning I got it.
Yeah. So before you purchased it, it was already established out in Costco and kind of was an operating business. So you just saw it operating for sale and purchased it that way.
Yeah. It was Brewster's barbecue. And I think he was moving back to Ephrata, where he's from. And he just kind of was, I guess, shortening his operations. And he gave me one of the biggest opportunities in my life to just, create my own brand and bring the food that I grew up with. And we get to share these flavors here in the community.
Yeah. Oh, that's cool.
Yeah.
So you graduated from Millersville University, but
I went to Hack for business administration, graduated there. Then I went to Millersville, but I never was able to graduate just because of, working full time and then studying. But I enjoyed the professors, the courses. Yeah.
But you were going for marketing and graphic design?
Yes.
So how have you married the marketing and graphic design work with food?
I think that with Instagram and Facebook, allow us as a brand to just make sure we have the most pretty angles and make sure the colors are always cohesive. And not just that, but make the post inviting, and I think with that, it help us spread the awareness of not just South American food, but gluten-free food.
Okay. Yeah. Why gluten-free?
The gluten-free comes because of the arepa, being the main element in our menu. It help us just have that as a main, and then we have friends that were celiac, and they just love the combinations. And one of them is Ryan from the Lancaster Celiac Facebook group. And I remember in the beginning of Chellas, he came by and we make sure that all the ingredients were 100% gluten free. And and just because of that, I think it helped to prove the community that they were safe. And when you eat the food at Chellas, you just feel content. You don't feel bloated, and besides everything being fresh. So I think that we're just happy that how we have it, and with the expansions that we're doing, we want to keep the same gluten-free menu.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I'm sure folks, especially when it's challenging to find, delicious food that's gluten free, and so they're going to Chellas and being able to find that, I'm sure it's a win-win for everyone.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah.
Yes, it's a win-win, but at the same time, sometimes we have just so many people, coming to enjoy it, so we have to just keep making it now in bigger quantities and scaling, and that's been the fun part of the expansion.
Yeah. So tell me a little bit about that challenge, because you've grown quite a bit, and you got some things coming down the line.
Yeah. For the expansions, have you guys seen the newspaper? We're moving to Cavalar on the 300 block on Queen Street. We're very happy that we're able to be, home, which is Lancaster. I spent my 15 years here, and I think that we have the big community following, the acceptance of Chellas, and then with that, it's just giving us the confidence that we're able to open the first brick and mortar for Chellas.
Yeah.
Yep.
And tell me a little bit about, coming from, thinking about your culture. How have you been intentional about implementing that into the restaurant and just the food in general?
I think for the culture, I mean, my wife is from here, so we had different times, like eating lunch or dinner in different portions, and for her, eating an arepa wasn't like her thing to do, and she was kind of doubtful, like, oh, I don't think people will like arepas here, but I didn't mean to prove her wrong.
It was like they love them,
But they love them, and at the same time, my family loves it too. Like my kids, they love the rice and beans and the chicken and the sauces. So it was, in the beginning though, it was really hard to tell the community, like, what's an arepa? Like, why do you need to come to Chellas? Why do we need to eat rice and beans? But it's something that I grew up eating it, and that's something that it was missing, like 10 years ago. And when I wanted to eat this type of food, I had to go to like Miami or New York. And so then one day, when I had the opportunity, I was like, we're gonna make, Lancaster. We're gonna have an arepa place. Yeah. And here we are.
Yeah, but continuing to grow for sure. Yeah.
Yes, yeah. The growth, I think it comes with more responsibilities, more teamwork. It's just not me anymore, and I think that's been part of delegating, creating a trustworthy team, and they're all happy to share the same vision that we have. And on top of that, I get to work with my mom, my dad, my brother. So Chellas is not just a restaurant, but it's a very family-oriented restaurant.
Yeah. Tell me how you balance that. And, a lot of families involved in the business. Obviously, you can't get to where you're trying to go without a strong team. So how are you balancing the dynamics between family and also business partnership?
Yeah, that the balance comes, from the top, which will be me. I need to put the boundaries. I need to create the schedules, and then we learn to look at our strengths and our weaknesses, and not just overstep on each other. Thankfully they respect my vision, they respect my decisions, and with that, it gives me the peace of mind that if the decision is good or bad, it still falls on me. Luckily, I didn't have too many bad ones, but there has been.
Yeah.
And we're all humans, but I realized too that it's good to say no. Sometimes my dad I see at home and he's talking about work and ideas, and I'm like, Dad, like this is not the time right now. Like this is just family time.
Yeah.
Like yeah, like let's save it for tomorrow. So
Yeah.
it's been helping.
Yeah. So, do you have a challenge turning it off, or do you find it easy to kind of switch from, work is done, now it's time to focus on personal life, or do you?
It's different every day. Could be easier to turn it off, just because the projects for that week, other weeks are intense, just because of emails or construction quotes or anything related for the expansion. So it's not as easy to ignore it and save it for tomorrow because I'm just gonna get behind.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I feel like it's a question I've been asking a lot of entrepreneurs and just leaders in general, because I've found it challenging to turn it off. Like, even if you're, trying to be present at home or doing something else, like, I feel like your brain is just a computer and in the background is just still processing other, ideas or things that you got to do. I'm curious how you're navigating, especially this new season of growth and opportunity, with still trying to be present in the moment with other areas of your life.
Yeah, I learned that if I worry and I overthink these things, it's not healthy for me.
Mm.
I I learned that I need to put things on the to-do list and then make sure the next day is done. I learned to tell my brain like you don't like I don't gain anything just overthinking it
Mm.
and keep thinking about the solution if it's not into play. So knowing that, I'm able to just shut it off and get to enjoy the moment. It could be dinner or like an event outside of work, and I feel like I'm present in that moment, and that helps so much to find that balance that in the past it was just so hard to find.
Mm. So, what made you want to switch or change, to allow you to be more present in the moment?
Just realizing, these white hairs growing and just getting old, and you really find, what it really means to keep living. If you just want to keep living, to, just be there and just either focus on work or don't have a family, or just grow your work, more intentional, but also be a dad for the family and remember those memories. Not a dad who was always on his phone or computer,
Mm.
but a dad who was able to just play with them or do a crafts or go fishing.
Mm. Yeah. What do you like to do with the family?
Well, we like to eat.
Yeah.
that's a that's always a must. We have a few local eateries here in Lancaster. Cavalry is one of them.
Hmm.
The other one is Hudson Botanical and Smokestown.
Yeah.
Um, and then here and there, we like to also do like museums.
Mm.
We like to go to the beach, and it's a little far, but we like to save some time and some money to go to Florida. Um, we were lucky enough to travel to Italy
Nice.
last year, and I think that bond a family though. It's just not me and my wife, but bringing two little kids into traveling, it's just a different dynamic. But it makes me so happy that they're able to experience these things that I didn't think I could have provided. But at the same time, I'm happy that they're able to experience this and learn a little bit of it's just not Lancaster, but there is more to it.
Yeah. There's based on conversations we've had before, I feel like there's the sense I get from you is that you're not only trying to be a great entrepreneur, but you're very conscious of trying to be a great dad at the same time. So a lot of the actions that you do are very intentional to make sure that you are present and trying to be that good father.
Yeah.
So having a conversation with someone recently, and sometimes it feels like, especially when you're the first to do something, you almost don't have the luxury of quitting in any area, right? So some folks can be a good entrepreneur, and that they may have to make sacrifices at home. But I sometimes feel that some of us don't have that luxury. It's like, no, I have to be a great father. I have to be a great entrepreneur. What are some things that are driving you to do that?
Yeah, I think that one of them was, my dad. He was always in the restaurant world, and he just worked too much. And I think that he gave me the good and bad example not to do things like he's done. Um, and I think that I just like to switch things, and I don't want to repeat things. I think because of that, it kind of helped me kind of break change, if you say. And I like to do the opposite, and just really, yeah, just like you said, be a great dad, not just a good dad. Where because now when you have kids, there is a switch inside of you that makes you wanna not just leave your legacy, but make sure that this this next generation, are better than me, and they get to do greater things.
Yeah. 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 I can relate to that. There's, I think about, my parents and some of the things that they had to sacrifice, and, just always important to figure out, like, okay, we have a little bit of a privilege to, do hopefully a little bit better, and then our kids will do a little bit better than us.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. This special podcast episode is built by the Lancaster County Community Foundation, which uses the transformational potential of community-based philanthropy and the power of endowment to help shape a Lancaster County where every individual is valued, has a sense of belonging, and has the opportunity to thrive. Thank you to our friends at the Lancaster County Community Foundation for making it possible to provide access to training and lending for entrepreneurs. Yeah. But what are some things that you've had to sacrifice along the way? I know entrepreneurship is one of those things that you can't hold on to some of the old baggage. You have to let it go. So what are some things that you've had to let go to go forward?
Well, there's a lot of sacrifices. In the beginning of Chellas, I didn't have enough money to start, so I had to sell my motorcycle, personal belongings. I had to, like miss holidays with the family, trips. I had to, like work long hours, sometimes 17 hours a day. I had to wear different hats. I think that the saying that says, blood, sweat, and tears are real. But all that, it was good because that allowed me to learn all the little corners of the trade, and with that able to, when I hire somebody to fix something or to get a quote or work, like, I know what I'm expecting, and I know that it could be done at a certain amount of time, or what it takes to finish it. So I think that I'm grateful for these challenges, and at the same time for me, having God, it helps to open the doors wide open. I think having him, it's almost like you let the ship go one direction, and being positive in life. I think that helps, like, so much more that you can imagine.
Yeah. No, faith is important. Just some sort of belief that things can be better tomorrow than they are today. And I think sometimes as entrepreneurs, well, I think all entrepreneurs that I've ever talked to that have actually, been successful, it's always been some type of hope that they can lean into moving forward. How has that continued to shape your journey?
Yeah, for me, it's almost like miracles. I think that sometimes I don't have a lot of details that I remember, but sometimes it feels like just feel like something wasn't going to work out, but at the last minute, it works out. And it's just not an explanation. So I feel like, he's there, and I'm not saying, I'm just going to cross my arms and let it flow. But
Jesus, take the wheel.
Exactly. No, you got to put the work.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think that, being part of a church helps to network. But allow like give back to the community. I think that helps a lot too. And um, yeah, I think that as we keep growing, we want to do that as well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Tell me about how you currently give back to the community.
Well, last year we were able to work with the food hub, Lancaster Food Hub.
Yeah.
Like we noticed that they do a lot for the people in need, and we realized that the staff, they get to just do this amazing work. And I reached out to Corinne and I was like, hey, we would love to feed the team. So she was able to gather everybody, and they came to Chellas, and they get to and have a nice meal there. And then in the future, though, we were thinking of creating a nonprofit, probably like helping local immigrants, some in those words. But it's definitely in our hearts to just reach out and be a hand.
Yeah, no, that's great. There's always, especially the entrepreneurs that we work with at Assets are always interested in having some sort of impact incorporated into their business model, whether it's social, environmental. So it's always cool to see, how we're giving back, paying it forward to help others. Knowing that's just, business is nice as long as we can make some money, but how are we, giving and investing back into the community is just as important.
Yes. Yeah. I think giving is always, it feels bigger than receiving. That's kind of like the law of the universe.
Yeah. So what's the vision? Like, where do you see yourself, going in the next 10 years? Where do you see the business going or being in the next 10 years?
I mean, everybody tells me, like Chellas should be a franchise. I don't see it yet. I think for us, we would definitely love to have Chellas, not just in Lancaster County, but outside of the county. I definitely see probably like 5 Chellases in the area. With a 100% gluten-free menu. And then definitely, have like a strong team that we are growing from the beginning, and like all the way through 10 years. I think that's very rewarding to have this solid team. And I think that, I don't know, time will tell, but I definitely we have a long-term vision though. With Chellas.
Yeah, no, that's great. Can't wait till there's multiple ones all over the East Coast. That's what I see. Yeah. Were there any mentors that you've had coming up?
Yes. I mean, I think the mentors, we could say my mom, my dad, that's not cliche, but that's the people that you always look up in the beginning of your life, your journey. But in the restaurant, when I started Chellas, I reached out to Mike from Sulaki Boys.
Yeah.
And he was super nice. I just told him that, hey, starting this food truck, can you give me an insight on the measurements and how do you work things out in such a tiny kitchen? And he was so helpful to give me those points and share his experiences, mistakes that he made, and that and then from then, when we go to events and I see him, and I'm always like, hey, thanks for giving me those points. And we take pictures or talk to people, be like, yeah, this is the guy who helped me out.
Yeah.
And he loves it. The other mentor that I admire a lot, and he helped me over the years, is Lou Davenport from Score. He's a terrific guy. He's so smart. He's the financial wizard, so he could let me like read numbers so well. So he just been not just a mentor but a true friend. And then I would have to say too, my current landlord, he's been my spiritual mentor, I should say, because he would just challenge me, like things like giving back to the community. One time I think there was a fire in Strasbourg, and he was like, hey, let me buy these meals for these guys. And I was like, all right, well, here's the invoice. And then he's like, we just like, he's challenged me enough. So I ended up, buying the whole thing. But it was great. It felt good to just give back again, like that. It's not about like, the cost of money, the food, but I think that giving back, it's big.
Yeah. And I can appreciate having a mentor that challenges you too. So sometimes we think mentors are just folks that are going to pat us on the back and tell us we're doing a good job along the way. But having someone that challenges your current beliefs and challenges you to do new things, I think is probably more important than anything else, because that's what gets us to stretch a little bit.
Oh yes, that I think that's when you are mature enough, you realize that if you're steady and comfortable, you're not gonna grow. So kind of like you force yourself to find these people, these mentors that can nag you and push you out of your comfort zone. And when you accept that challenge and you take it, then you look back, you're like, man, it's good.
Yeah, you never like it in the moment.
Exactly, yes.
Every time I'm sitting through something, I'm like, man, I'm probably going to feel a lot better about this in a week or two, but right now this sucks.
It does.
Yeah. And shout out to Lou over at Score. Score has been such a huge part of our entrepreneur community here,
good,
and has really, we just recently went to their awards luncheon that they had. And it's just cool to see the mentors that have been there for years helping out entrepreneurs. And then when you see the folks that they're helping that have successful, established businesses, it's really cool to see that work kind of play out in real time. So it's cool that you've been able to be supported by them.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I recommend Score like 100%, just because they focus not just on one area of the business, but a little bit of, marketing, finance, accounting, and it helps you just see the whole picture.
Yeah. Especially those numbers. If those numbers aren't working right, it's not going to be much of a business in the future.
Exactly. Yeah. Then it's just a hobby.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Love to hear that. Yeah. This episode is built by the Reimagining Our Community Giving Circle. The ROC Giving Circle is a way for the community to support BIPOC-owned small businesses through collective philanthropy. The Giving Circle is managed by the ROC cohort, and its purpose is to facilitate funding to initiatives that support BIPOC-owned small businesses. To learn more, visit roclancaster.org. So what's new for you? What are some new things that you're excited about for the business?
We're excited for the expansion, as we talk about Cavalar moving out to the West End and Chellas going to the brick and mortar. It excites me that we're able to be there, like in a place where weather is not going to be challenging, meaning like people can sit outside now, people can dine in, and we're excited to bring our creativity inside the place. Put the South American decorations, but not only that though, like make a new landmark for Chellas. Like people will know, like, hey, I'm gonna eat good food at 300 block of Queen Street, and we're excited to bring new menu items. Ceviche is definitely in the works.
Can't wait.
Yeah, and we're happy to
there.
that. Good. We're happy that my chef, still is gonna be there still and bring their good beers, and we're gonna do some collaborations with their gluten-free beers. So I think that's great. I mean, the mayor, Danine, she's so excited to have us. The whole city officials. Everywhere I go, they're always shouting out, hey, we love Chellas. We can't wait to have you guys. So the expectations are high.
Yeah.
We can't fail them.
Yeah. Well, you have the wind at your back. I think, I agree. Every time I talk to someone about, Chellas or, moving into the 300 block of North Queen, there's a lot of excitement around it. And I think people are excited to support you, but also because you provide a good meal. So first things first, right?
Yeah. What it really helped too is that I think having the food truck, it was just a small little restaurant. And then with that, I was able to keep it as a restaurant, like a restaurant. And as we received, 2 awards from Yelp, being the top 100 places in the US, 44 in 2020 and then back in 23, number 11. So that brought us in a higher level that yet the community and tourists, they were expecting something good, and with that, it help us to keep the standards even higher. And then we have just so much weight on our shoulders that people are not just expecting a food truck; they are expecting a 5-star restaurant, and under our team, we're able to accomplish that. Of course, there is like mistakes, and everybody is human. We make mistakes, but we try not to live on that, and treat it like every day as a new day. It's almost like you got to start from zero again. And yeah, it's great to receive awards, but yeah, I think having the opportunity to open every day, it brings us challenges, but we get to make good food.
Yeah, oh, that's awesome.
Yeah.
Thinking about new entrepreneurs that are just getting into business or just starting their idea, what would be some advice that you would give a new entrepreneur starting today?
Yeah, I'll definitely say, if you're not willing to, sacrifice your holidays, your sleep, um, things that you don't feel comfortable, like, don't do it, But if you're willing to pass that, have a plan, because if you don't have a plan, you're gonna plan to fail, and also have a plan B, C, D, all the plans you can, because
XYZ plan.
yeah,
Yep.
because always things go wrong. Even though you can have the perfect plan, but you will always find that there is always something new, and have an open mind to learn things.
Yeah. Yeah. What so that's a new entrepreneur, but how about if you look back at your younger self? So a little bit different. If you were,
Okay.
15-year-old Lewis, what advice are you giving 15-year-old Lewis?
I would say, like, go to chef school,
Yeah.
like, learn how to be a excellent chef. I think that would have helped me so much, learning the concepts, because what I learned the cooking was from my grandma Chella. She's the one who gave us the magic in the kitchen, and she would just make whatever she could find in the fridge, make the most delicious meals. And then when she passed away in 2004, like, that's when I was really craving her food and just having dreams that I meet her, she would give me the recipes. So it was almost like, have to be self-taught to be a chef or a cook. But yeah, I think that having the chef school, education, it's so important. So I would definitely, make sure I either, not just the marketing, but go back to school for the culinary.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So, we talked a little bit about family in the beginning of the conversation. So, how's, wife supportive of the business? How are the kids feeling about you as an entrepreneur dad? How's everything at home, and how are they supporting you in this journey?
Well, they're supporting Chellas, by eating.
Yeah.
Like, whenever they don't feel like cooking,
Tasting the new
the new
items on the menu.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. They love to visit me at work, and like, Costco is across the street, so whenever they go shopping there, they come bring me coffee, whatever. I think that they know, like Lucas, he's old enough that he understands that people are coming to Chellas because they love the food, and then he's always giving me ideas, or just using his creativity, like, hey dad, you should do these, have like a monster truck competition or whatever, like, like his imagination, or like, just playing in the rocks. I think he's definitely, like, so aware that I'm a busy guy, so he wishes that I'd be home, like, all the time. But at the same time, I understand that he knows that I'm just have to go to work too. So I think knowing that, it helps me just to able to, when I'm at work, and yeah, when I'm home, like, we get to spend time together. So
Yeah.
that's great.
Yeah, that's great. So what are some things that you would like the audience to know, where they can find you, connect with you, and build with you?
Yeah, definitely. I'll tell them. If you love my story, like, follow us on Instagram or Facebook. Chellas Lancaster. Send me a message through the DMs. We love to connect with the audience. I feel that if I did it, everybody else can do it. I'm happy to be here and share a little bit of me. Then I think if you go on the socials, you can find our website and the directions. Like I said, on Hempstead Road, across from Costco and Lowe's,
and soon to be 300 block of North Queen.
Yes.
When's the opening date?
We're still working on the little details, but as soon as Cavalar finds their construction, I think timeline, it looks like it's gonna be August.
Okay.
Yeah.
Sweet. All right, I'll be there, ribbon cutting and to get a meal. So
perfect, good,
cool. Well, thanks for sharing your story with us.
You're welcome.
Appreciate you.
Yes.
That wraps up another episode of Built by Us, where we showcase the extraordinary journeys of entrepreneurs like Louis who are leaving a flavorful mark on our world. From his family's recipes to the vibrant streets of our community, Louis's story reminds us of the power of heritage and passion in shaping our culinary landscape. Stay tuned for more inspiring tales of entrepreneurship, and until next time, keep building the future that you want to see. Thank you for listening.
This is the Built by Us podcast, brought to you by Assets. Visit us at assetspa.org to learn more about the products and services we provide, and you can follow us on Facebook, LinkedIn, Instagram, and YouTube.